If you've been struggling to stay in shape during all these COVID restrictions, then you may be asking yourself what you can do to get yourself back on track with your health and fitness. We need to come up with a plan that'll get us there. We are going to be talking today about two very important things. One, we need to determine a consistent and fulfilling way to get our exercise when access to facilities are limited. And two, we need to figure out a way to avoid the temptation of comfort eating in order to deal with the stress that is being thrown at us on a daily basis. Let's dive in. Welcome to episode number 1 of the LeRock Show, where I'm here to help you get your fitness back on track at any age and regardless of your current fitness level, so you can spend more quality time with your family, have a brighter outlook on life, and finally find the true joy that life has to offer. I'm your host, LeRock. I'm pumped to be hanging out with you today, and if you're listening to me on Apple Podcast or Spotify, thanks for putting me in your ears today. And if you're watching me on YouTube, I appreciate the comments and the engagement, as it gives me ideas for future episodes so that I can give you some more free training and free content on things that you're truly interested in. You are smart and life has much to offer you. We're going to dive right in today with a ton of practical content, which I love teaching because I know it has a potential to make a true difference in your life. Before we jump in today, one aspect of health and fitness, yes, is nutrition. You may have tried various diets in the past and maybe you had some struggles and maybe it didn't work out for you. Well, you may have also heard that I have a eating approach that I developed called Automate Your Plate. It's had some good results for myself personally. It's resulted in 15 years of being very healthy and fit. And also people that I've shown have lost good amounts of weight. One person in particular I know has reverse type 2 diabetes, which is really awesome. So it's a new eating approach. I've put it together. I share it in my book and my online course. But for you today, I've put together a checklist that kind of expedites the whole process. Instead of watching multiple videos on how to do it, it takes you through step 1, 2, 3, and so on what you would need to do to automate your plate and try out this new exciting eating approach. And I'm telling you, I know from experience, it works. So all you have to do is go to ethanlerock.com/automate, and you can download the sheet today and start using it quickly as today. So that's there for you. It's a great system. I do it on a daily basis. I've shared it with others, and like I said, they've had some success, and I hope the same for you. Take the time to use the checklist and begin making some change in your life today. Okay, let's dive into the material today. Today we're talking about two important things that you need to be doing in order to stop the vicious circle that has been caused by these COVID lockdowns. First, we're going to talk about determining a consistent and fulfilling way to get exercise when access to facilities aren't quite there for us. And the second one is the importance of avoiding comfort eating, which can be a big problem during times of stress, right? That obviously can result from the COVID-19 thing. You know, many of us find ourselves when things get stressful or things become uncertain that we reach out for food as a way of comfort. You know, what could you be doing right now in regard to your health and fitness, your physical training? Has it affected you? Has COVID affected you? Has it made it so that you maybe don't get to go to the facility that you used to go to? Maybe you went to dance classes, or maybe you went to yoga, or maybe you went to play hockey or basketball or football or whatever it is you like to do. And for me, the gym, okay? Has it limited what you're doing? And is there something you could be doing right now to change that? Well, that's what I'm going to talk about today as the first item that we need to discuss. Second thing is there something you could be doing right now in regard to your diet? Okay, maybe you were on some diet, doesn't have to be my diet, but you were on a diet and you were doing well, and then all of a sudden now you're finding that over the last little bit you've been eating much more than you used to eat. Maybe you're reaching out for more high calorie foods. Maybe you're snacking more. Maybe you're eating more drive-through food because you can't really go out to nice restaurants anymore. Maybe you're reaching out for, like chips and cookies and ice cream and stuff that for a long time you really had yourself on track and you weren't doing. Well, that's what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about how to change all that around and the importance of changing all that around. So for me personally, at the beginning of 2020, when all this stuff hit, the stuff that I'm sick of hearing about and sick of talking about, and sorry I have to refer to it today, but it's just one of the realities that we're dealing with. So I felt like I wanted to talk about that first, because you may have noticed that on my YouTube channel and my Facebook that I kind of disappeared for a while. And the reason that that happened is because I needed to do what I had to do for me and my family by backing off a bit from, my passion, because I had to get things in order in my house and in my career. Just like many of you, I had to work from home for a little bit, and actually for me, it's like nothing ever happened from the amount of workload. It's been very busy, and at the same time, I've been dealing with how am I going to get my fitness on track when I don't have a gym to go to because I'm a gym rat. And I also found myself dealing with what I'm talking about today, this little comfort eating thing. I still stayed faithful to my automate your plate like I have for the last 15 years. Thank goodness. But I was eating a little more at night. I found myself eating a little bit more junk food when I'd watch shows and stuff at night. A little less motivated to go to the gym. And it all started also because for about a month before COVID hit, I was taking a month off to let I do this probably every 10 years. I'll take time off and I'll just let everything heal up, all my tendons, all my joints. And it just resets my body and makes me feel like more excited about going to the gym again. So I did that for about a month, and then COVID hit. And then it was like, okay, you got to wait 15 days. And then it was 30 days. And then it was a month. And then it was full lockdown. Then it went crazy, right? And we couldn't get in. And we couldn't get access to our facilities. And I went through that whole, okay, we'll wait a month and we'll wait a month. Luckily, I stayed on the automate your plate. Thank goodness. And from a physical standpoint, my muscle may have shrunk a little bit because I wasn't exercising as much. I did do a little bit of boot camp training that I put some little programs together for myself, but I did it in kind of a scattered way. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not a boot camp guy. I didn't really enjoy it. I like being in the gym and I like lifting heavy weights and that's my thing, right? It's like if you did yoga and all of a sudden you had no access to yoga and you try something different out, right? You decide to, go to a gym. It's a different thing. It's not something that you're enjoying. Well, that's kind of what I went through. And so I sporadically did some boot camp training. It was okay, but I didn't love it. And then as I got farther into it and I realized, ooh, this is serious. We're not going to have any access to any. I was looking at playgrounds that were taped off by the government and thinking, I'd love to go in there and just do some chin-ups. Like, that's how ridiculous it was. I was just, because that's what I enjoy, right? I enjoy physical activity. And so I eventually broke down. I bought this contraption you see over my shoulder here. It's called a functional trainer. And that's what I use at home right now. I use that and a set of Bowflex dumbbells, which have quick access for changing them out. I just learned in life that if you buy a cheap weight set where you have to unscrew the ends every time you change your weights, it becomes very cumbersome. It breaks the flow of your workout. So I decided to break down, and luckily it wasn't easy to get this equipment. Nothing was I waited months to get it. So in the meantime, I did what I had to do. I did a home workout. I did the push-ups. I did the pull-ups. I did the chin-ups. I did the sit-ups, and all little things that we can do, like a military type training. And that's what I would suggest for you. If you do not have the funds or the access to get your own home equipment and you are someone who likes to train in the gym, then I would suggest you put together a written plan, not like I was doing. I would suggest what I learned is over time is my sporadic, I'll just go in the backyard and do a workout, or in my living room and do a workout. It wasn't doing it for me. I'd do it and it was boring and it was sporadic and it didn't feel right until I wrote down some detailed plans. So I broke down my body. I broke down my chest, my back, my abs, my quadriceps, my calves, my biceps, my triceps, my traps. And I put together a plan that covered my whole body, just like I would in the gym. And that's what I suggest you do as well. I suggest you come up with something that gives you the same fulfillment that you were getting in your physical activity, whatever that might be, but be able to control it and do it in your own house, do it in your own yard, do it in a park nearby, something that you can do to keep you physical. And I'm telling you, you may not have access to facilities and you may not have the funds to buy something fancy like that, but you can get out in the world and you can walk, right? You can walk, and especially if you're a heavy person, someone who's really suffering with weight, you need to be out there. You need to be out in the nature, outside, walking, getting the sunshine. You know, if it's cold out or if it's windy, dress for it, whatever you have to do. Because I'm in pretty darn good shape, and that's what I do. I still get out every day and I walk. And I get a little bit of exercise, 30 minutes or whatever it might be. I walk on my breaks and I walk at lunch. And that's it. And I might walk my dog once in a while. But those are things that we can do, just basic things to keep ourselves kind of sane during this whole thing. And again, in regard to the second item I wanted to discuss, comfort eating. If I can be subject to comfort eating still, and it's interesting. It's been 15 years roughly since I started I changed everything. And I haven't had temptations. My Automate Your Plate, it's wonderful in that you're getting a really consistent amount of food during the day. And on the weekend, you do whatever the heck you want. So that's basically the way it's wired. Well, I found myself just this last year with COVID, that at nighttime I would be like reaching out for my old friends, like Dorito chips, cookies, donuts on the weekend, things that I never like. I don't really crave those things. I have cravings for calorie dense foods, but it's never those things. It's usually like on the weekend I'll have like a lasagna or pizza or something really thick as a reward at the end of the week. But I found that on a daily basis I was kind of like just having little nibbles of stuff that I shouldn't be having. Nothing that's out of control, but it does make me step back and think about people that aren't as diligent with their diets, that may be struggling and that may be not realizing that they've been increasing the amount of calorie dense foods that they've been ingesting. At nighttime especially, if you're sitting on the couch, be aware of it. So that's my message to you today, is really be conscious of what you're doing with food. And is it because you're hungry that you're eating? Or is it because you are comfort eating? You're trying to make yourself feel some sort of pleasure. And comfort eating is you're trying to make yourself feel some sort of pleasure during uncertain or stressful times or situations in your life that are stressful. It's a very common thing. It's the reason a lot of people are overweight today. And that's part of this whole psychology thing I talk about. It's a psychology of why are we eating, the way we do. And if you find yourself there, just be conscious of it, and there's ways you can change it. And one way to change it is to find a healthy alternative, something that you can bite into that has a crunch, that tastes good, and that you can still do if you need that sort of thing. But really, number one rule always is if you find yourself being more hungry than normal, if you're doing the Automate Your Plate, like I hope you are, and you don't have to lose weight, but that is what I do, and that's what I suggest. If you are doing it, just have another one of your dinners at nighttime instead of a snack. Just go ahead and have another one of your Automate Your Plate dinners. It'll keep your blood sugar stable. It'll satisfy and satiate your appetite and your hunger, and you'll feel better. The other thing is have a big tall glass of ice water near you at all times and chug that stuff. Because what it will do is it'll fill your stomach and it'll send a trigger to your mind that you're full and that you're satiated and that your appetite's been satisfied. So those are the two big takeaways today. Number one, you need to come up with a plan, some sort of fitness plan that works for you. Write it down, put it into your schedule, right? Make sure that you're covering your entire body from top to bottom. The more you cover, the more, for example, if you are going to be building some muscle, which is what I hope you're doing if you're someone who has to lose weight severely, because when you build muscle, these muscles are like little engines, and those engines, the bigger they are, the more fuel they burn. Also, if you're doing something to keep your heart rate up, a healthy heart is beneficial in a million ways, right? It's a no-brainer. I don't even have to go there, but those are two things you really need to keep. You need to be working on keeping your muscles in shape, keeping your heart pumping, and giving yourself just enough to stay healthy without, you don't want to make it like an obsession or make it something that's killing you, but something that really can benefit you on a daily basis. And come up with that plan and then stick to the plan, okay? And regardless of having a gym or facilities or a Zoom meeting you can go to, some sort of Zoom event, you could be doing this yourself at home and keeping yourself in great shape. I'm telling you right now, I went ahead and I did it. I went ahead and got this big monster behind me because I knew that this is not going to just be a temporary thing. It's going to drag on a bit, and I need to take care of what I need to take care of. You know, I need to be a man and take care of my stuff. And in regard to the binge eating, thank goodness I'm conscious of it, and I nipped it in the butt. So now maybe once or twice a week I'll have a cookie at night or something, but I'm not killing myself. And if I really find myself hungry, I throw in another meal and I have one of my automate your plate deals there. So that is what I do. Now, again, if you need a resource on how to eat properly, one way of eating to lose weight, which is the one way that I am doing, it's called Automate Your Plate. Again, I have a free downloadable checklist that you can use that shows you step by step. It basically, when I teach Automate Your Plate in my book and in the online course, there are very specific designed steps and methodologies to the whole thing because it's based on psychology that I teach. It takes time to teach the student that. But this checklist takes you, regardless of what I'm teaching in the videos, it's like a quick start for you. You can use it and it's very simple. It breaks it down step by step, what you need to be doing from the beginning and throughout. And it gives you the general steps to go through. So if you have some intelligence, you could look at this checklist. You could go through it and say, I'm going to do step 1. I'm going to clean out my cupboards, whatever it might be. Check, and then step it on through. And you'll be on your way to automating your plate without even watching the videos or reading the book or anything. It's just there for you. And again, it's free. You can download it. It's at ethanlerock.com, ethanlerock.com/automate. So thanks for hanging out today. I hope that something I shared with you today sparks some interest, sparks some action that you can put into your life to kind of get the momentum back, get yourself back on track with your training and get your eating in check and get you eating healthy and avoiding comfort eating. And if any of it did interest you today, please drop me a comment below the video because I read the comments. And also, if you have any ideas for things you'd like to see in future videos, please drop me a comment there as well. And I definitely go through my comments and I will look at putting a video in the future that addresses some, any interest that you might have. So until we meet again, please stay healthy, be happy, and live your life with intention every single day.